I'm here today to talk with you about the resale of your jewelry, which can be a daunting task. You may want to get the best price for scrap gold, you may have an old engagement ring that's collecting dust, or you may have picked up a new gemstone while abroad. In any circumstance, this video should help you to understand the different markets, market levels, and ultimately an idea of value that you'll retain by selling your fine jewelry. If your jewelry contains just metal and is not antique or designer, feel free to skip this section. But for folks that have antique jewelry, designer jewelry, or jewelry with valuable diamonds and gemstones, you want to make sure that you standardize your items. This removes the subjectivity of the items. So if you're selling online to either Susan in Texas or Jessica in Maine, both will know exactly what they're buying, and both will be willing to pay more for items that are less risky to purchase. The first step is to gather any background documents that you may have. Sales receipts, insurance schedules, and especially grading reports all give merit to your sale. When selling diamonds above a half carat or valuable gemstones, it's very important to have a certification. This should only be done through the Gemological Institute of America, or if the stone is mounted, the American Gem Labs. These certifications are guarantees of quality, which prevents your buyer from arguing with you about your gem's quality. And once you know the exact quality of your stones, you'll be able to better determine an appropriate marketplace and value. When selling designer or antique and period jewelry, it can be important to have a professional appraisal. These are called marketable cash value appraisals and are based on the market that you're looking to sell in. Be sure that you don't purchase an insurance replacement value appraisal, as this will be dysfunctional for resale purposes. An appraisal can be done through a professionally accredited appraiser, such as those accredited by the American Society of Appraisers. It's important that you choose an appraiser that has professional accreditation. These professionals will be able to produce a document that reflects the quality of the piece and what you can expect to retain from selling in a specific market. You can also ask your appraiser for values in several markets. Online, at auction, and to a jewelry buyer, for example, could all be values placed on one ring.
This chart is designed to exhibit the most common markets for reselling your jewelry, as well as what you can expect to get in those markets. Essentially, the more time and money you spend with the sale, the greater the value you will get for the sale. On the left side of this chart, we have the most time and money spent in a sale. On the right, we have the least time and money spent. Each one of these blue boxes represents different values. We have retail value, wholesale value, liquidation value, and scrap value. Each one of the white boxes represents a different market for reselling your jewelry. On the right, with our lowest value, we have a pawn shop. In this market, you can walk in with your piece and walk out with cash. It takes very little effort, and you'll receive a low value. Just to the left of the pawn shop, we have consignment, brokering, and jewelry buyer. These represent professionals inside the jewelry industry. Everyone in these markets has access to new goods at wholesale, so selling your item here will realize less than wholesale value. Consignment typically takes time, but your items will be in a fancy case in an established store. Brokering and jewelry buyers usually don't take a lot of time, but you need to find one that you trust. Look for their credentials. Scrap gold is typically sold in these markets at a national average of 60 to 70% of the scrap value. The next market represents the online marketplaces. These markets could be eBay, Etsy, IDoNowIDon't.com, or other internet stores. Note the difference between stores that sell from consumer to consumer, like IDoNowIDon't.com, and stores that sell from consumer to wholesaler and consumer, like eBay. These different online marketplaces have different audiences and experiences. It's also important to take into account the different methods used in these marketplaces, such as a buy it now option or an auction option, each having different parameters and fees. The market to the left of online is the auction environment. This marketplace works well for antique and period jewelry, designer jewelry, and high-end jewelry. There are many auction houses, and most do very well with either a certain type of jewelry or a certain market level of jewelry. Some auction houses have 4 auctions a year. Some have daily auctions. It all depends on what type of jewelry you'd like to sell. A professional appraiser will be able to refer you to an auction house that's appropriate for your items. The next market is a private buyer. This would constitute selling directly to a member of the public. This could be a friend, relative, or a stranger. You may find this type of person on social media, your local newspaper advertisements, or Craigslist. To achieve a fair selling price in this market, I would recommend getting a marketable cash value appraisal from a professional appraiser. Always be cautious where you meet a buyer, and be very cautious about the method of payment. This market requires the most diligence and money, but can result in the highest value. The last market option that you have is a donation. This can be made to a nonprofit 501c3 that will use the item within 3 years. It's wise to consult a professional appraiser and an accountant when donating fine jewelry.
Now that we've explored the many different markets to sell your jewelry, let's talk about value. Value is arrived at through transactions in a given marketplace. For example, an appraiser will search auction results in order to find out what an item will sell for in an auction house. This can also be done on eBay and other online marketplaces. But pay close attention to the details of the sale, such as date, location, market level, condition, quality, and more. All of these affect your value based on comparable properties. Searching sold item databases can be an easy, comfortable way to get an underlying idea of value. Other markets such as pawn shops, jewelry buyers, and brokers should all be excited to give you offers for purchase. Once you start collecting values in several markets, it becomes apparent what your item is worth and just how much effort you like to spend selling it. My name is Kenan Young. I'm the owner of VermontGemLab.com and StarLustJewelry.com. I'm a JA Certified Bench Jeweler Technician, GIA Graduate Gemologist, AGA Accredited Senior Gemologist, and an ASA Master Gemologist Appraiser. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.